The man honing this hook by hand is Captain Mark Martin, who says sharp hooks helped nearly 75 of his customers last year land Stroh's Award walleye. Losing less fish with sharp hooks is something that caused Bing McClellan from Traverse City to come up with an automated sharpener.
Look at that.
Probably takes an average fisherman maybe 30 seconds, a minute maybe, to sharpen a hook.
1 point.
1 point on one hook, which might take, 5 minutes to sharpen all the hooks here. And of course, they can easily get damaged on rocks,
Right.
snags.
Absolutely.
You came up with an invention how to sharpen all these in 30 seconds.
Well, it's a very simple tool. It's called a hook honer, and that's indeed exactly what it is. It hones the hooks rather than grinds metal off as hones or sharpeners or files type would.
Is this because you spend so darn much time fishing? And sharp hooks are really the key to catching a lot of fish.
That's right. That's one of the few things, aside from motherhood, you can't argue about.
That's right. This little gizmo, interesting, you have the prototype here.
Yep.
It was developed, what, a year ago?
1987, January 14th was the first time I saw it. I had commissioned a guy about a year earlier to try to mechanically give me a perfect hook point, one that is lapped and polished instead of sharpened with a file.
The funny thing that fishermen don't realize, or anglers, that when you have light line, like 2-pound test line that I've been fishing with today, the strength of that knot is probably closer to 1 pound than 2 pounds. So when you go to set the hook on a fish, you're pulling actually with less than 1 pound of force.
Right.
And even if you're using 6-pound test, you're probably pulling, most you can get out of it is 2 pounds of force.
Yeah.
Now, how often, though, should you really sharpen your hook? Say you catch a fish on it, or you get snagged. Would you sharpen it every time?
No. Good heavens, no.
How often?
I'd just do the thumbnail test every so often during the day I'm fishing. And if it skids on my thumbnail, I touch it up. Now,
Here, show me that, dude, on your thumbnail. How you're going to...
Well, a properly sharpened point. Let me get this thing tuned up here.
How hard are you pushing down on it?
Not hard at all. You're just holding it in place. There's no... See?
That's right.
There's no secret to it.
Take a minute here. Let's look at this prototype and see what happens inside this. This baby rotates around and buzzes.
Yeah, it's lapping the hook point back and forth 300 times a second while it rotates around the hook point 3 times a second.
So put the hook point there where it would be if we were sharpening this.
All right.
And it goes around like that.
It orbits the hook point.
So now you have it sharpened. Now how do you know when it's the way you want it?
Well, take your fingernail or thumbnail, and if you can do that and it doesn't skid off, just barely touch your hook point to your nail, and if it'll stick, it's sharp enough.
Stick right there. Whoa-wee.
Yeah. Now try one of the other hooks that hasn't been sharpened.
Okay, and you can tell by looking at them that they don't have... If they've been sharpened, they're real silver. Look at that. I can't even get that factory point.
Right.
Well, that's kind of...
That's a brand new Rapala right out of the box.
I cannot dig that into my fingernail. I can scratch with it, and it feels sharp, and it hurts.
And it looks sharp.
But it doesn't do what this one does, catching on the fingernail. Wow.
Our mutual friend, Emil Dean, ran some tests on us with a prototype last year. And if there's anything harder to do is because sharp hooks make more importance in downrigger fishing than anything.
Oh, yeah, because you're trolling.
Because you can't set the hook.
Yeah, the fish has to set it
for you.
Yeah.
And his hook catch versus line pop-off percentage went up 50% after he sharpened all the hooks.
50%, that makes it 50. I believe it, when I sharpened just the hook on this lure, caught 2 fish in a row, bang, bang. They weren't slipping.
Yeah.
I think that does. If it can stick to your skin, stick to your fingernail, it's got to stick that much more inside a fish's mouth.
In fishing, there's only two things that are totally common: water and sharp hooks. Because a fisherman literally cannot fish without a hook. He cannot. He can fish fly fishing, he can fish spin casting, he can fish salt water, but he got to have a hook. He's got to have water.
How did you...
Bing McClellan certainly boiled fishing down to the basics. It doesn't matter if you use a battery-powered hook honer or if you use a diamond file to sharpen the points on your fish hooks. Your success will increase if the points are sharp like a surgeon's needle. Mark Martin's success rate proved it, and when Emil Dean started using the battery-powered honer to keep the treble hook sharp on his lures, Emil's loss of fish because of hooking failures dropped in half, a significant lesson to all anglers in Michigan outdoors.